Tonight, a search for accountability.
I think it's ridiculous, honestly, that she takes all the blame for what happened.
A family working through grief and confusion.
To say that after she lost her life as well, just a kick in the face.
Over the tragic Kitchener flyover crash. An uncertain future for a St. Jacobs fixture.
There's maybe a couple of booths open. A lot of them are shut down. Half the vendors are in there packing up their stuff right now.
What the managers of this antique market are saying about a temporary shutdown. Plus, a busy retirement.
We've done over 200 projects in the community in the last 4 years.
The local group that's taken on a long list of tasks.
It's a huge blessing. We're so thankful that they can do this for us.
In the name of building a better community. Good evening. We begin tonight with more from the family of the woman who died when her car veered off the edge of a snowbank-lined highway flyover ramp in Kitchener last month. The family of Yuin Nguyen say as they honor her life, they are also seeking accountability and even looking into legal options. CTV's Jeff Pickle is here once again with new reporting on this. And Jeff, you did have a chance to speak with her brother. The family say this has been a difficult time.
Well, Tony, really, the tragedy just deepens around every turn. It's always difficult to lose a family member at the age of just 38, but then for the crash to happen in such an unusual and public manner, and then to learn that an almost identical crash happened just a few hours before, the family member we spoke with say they were hurt by how police seemingly placed the blame on the driver. It was a cold, icy morning on January 26th. A little after 7 a.m., Highway 8 in Kitchener closed down for a crash. A vehicle lost control, hit the snow piled on the shoulder, and launched over the guardrail, crashing on the highway below.
You can see where the vehicles could potentially ramp up over that snowbank.
But this wasn't the first crash that morning. A few hours earlier, a taxi in nearly the same location did the same thing. The driver had minor injuries. The second crash victim did not survive. The victim was 38-year-old Yuin Nguyen, the eldest of 4 siblings.
She played a big role in basically raising us from a young age.
Known by her siblings as Gian, Henry describes his big sister as outgoing, caring, and dependable.
She's your stereotypical oldest sibling, takes on all responsibility, does the most work, and take care of all the affairs.
That morning, Henry says he got a call from one of Yuin's colleagues that she didn't show up for work, something highly out of character.
I told them that I was gonna go to her workplace, maybe take the path back to her condo to see if I can see her on the side of the road or something. Maybe she swerved off and she got a little accident.
Henry said he heard reports of a bad crash near the flyover, but didn't immediately think the worst.
And I just remember trying to peek over the edge of the ramp to see if that was her car, right? She had a kind of dark greenish bluish RAV4, and I was trying to identify the car, and I didn't think it was hers at the time, and it didn't look like hers, but it was flipped over and was crumpled.
After hours of searching, the news finally came.
They said that there was an accident today. My sister was involved, and unfortunately she didn't make it out. I remember just holding my mom, and she's just screaming out in Vietnamese, where's your sister? Where's your sister? Why isn't she home?
Henry says that night the family went to the site of the crash seeking some type of solace. They found none.
I thought I might have some closure going there. I definitely did not. It was probably more traumatic than I thought it would be. I saw how high she fell from, and I saw all the rubble on the ground.
According to Henry, the final insult came from above.
And in the middle of the prayer, I see snow come over the side of the ramp. I was like, oh, okay, they decide to cloud the snow now, right?
Henry says the circumstances of the crash seemed out of character for his older sister.
She was a very cautious person, and she worried for us, because she thinks that we might get into accidents if we don't know about this storm or we don't know about this black ice.
After the crash, the OPP indicating typically a vehicle issue or driver error and not road conditions are to blame.
Road conditions and weather conditions don't cause crashes. It's the driver behavior and the actions of the driver or the vehicle that results in issues.
Henry says these comments from the OPP did not sit well with the family.
I feel like it was very lazy of them just to say it was driver error. Like, there was no accountability on their end.
The family is pursuing legal action, and their lawyer says they are still in the due diligence phase.
We are obviously looking at any conceivably responsible party that may have had something to do with the road conditions on the Highway 7-8 overpass on the day of the accident.
For Henry, he says he owes it to his big sister to get some answers.
I think it's ridiculous, honestly, that she takes all the blame for what happened. And to say that after she lost her life as well, just a kick in the face.
The OPP say the crash is under investigation. We reached out to police and the MTO for an update, but did not hear back for airtime. The family's lawyers say they are still in the process of gathering information, and if there is anyone with information or dash camera footage from that morning, they would like to be in touch. Tony?
All right, Jeff, thank you. CTV's Jeff Pickle with that report tonight. Time for a first check on the weather. So let's turn over to Karis Map now at the weather wall here in studio with all the details. I see the world has brought us back together again.
Absolutely reunited, and it feels so good.
It does. It always does. What doesn't feel so great is this constant repeat loop cycle of snow that we're in, and some more possibly incoming.
Absolutely. I'm still not over last night's storm, I will say. I wasn't expecting quite as much when I left my house this morning, but the snowbanks were even higher. But the snow plows did a really good job. They made sure and kind of cleared the roadways nice and early, so it wasn't too much of a treacherous drive on the way to work today. Not too much snow for Waterloo region today. It was mostly just blowing snow, but in places north of us, Mount Forest, Wyerton, they received an additional 10 to 20 centimeters of snow today. This was the snow squall yellow warning that Environment Canada issued early this morning. Like I said, 10 to 20 centimeters, wind gusts up to 60 kilometers per hour, so it was a busy time for them today as well. The snow didn't end. In Waterloo region, currently sitting at -4 degrees, so not too cool at this time. And looking at our satellite radar, as you can see, still some blowing snow, some light flurries. We did get 2 to 4 centimeters today, but overall it was mostly cloud coverage. The sun tried its best to peek through, but cloud really was the story for most of the day. The cleanup and the cloud coverage, but hopefully, Tony, as you mentioned, we'll see some more sunshine as we approach to the weekend.
That would be nice. Okay, Karis, thank you. We'll get the rest of the forecast from you shortly. The St. Jacobs Antiques Market is temporarily closing its doors. Vendors at the store on King Street North were told that sales will end as of March 1st, as the owner addresses financial problems that have left some sellers waiting to be paid. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us live now with more on what we've been able to learn about this today. Krista.
Well, Tony, the store was open to customers today, though its long-term future is unclear. A popular destination for shoppers.
I was here Friday and it was pretty packed. All the vendors were open, all the booths were open, they were pretty full.
The St. Jacobs Antiques Market on King Street North has more than 100 unique vendors inside, according to its website, which advertises the variety of items for sale, as well as movie prop rentals. But vendors have been told the doors will be closed temporarily starting March 1st. While the store remains open for now, customers are already seeing a difference.
I came in today and there's maybe a couple booths open. A lot of them are shut down. Half the vendors are in there packing up their stuff right now.
In emails sent to vendors shared with CTV News, the business's owner writes that the store's bank account has been frozen. It also indicates checks meant for vendors were returned. The messages say paying vendors is the priority. When reached by CTV News, management would only say the business is under restructuring and renegotiation, the struggles coming as a shock to some.
Even on Friday, I always joke around with the man because I'm always here, and he was like, okay, see you next week, and you couldn't tell anything was happening or anything was shutting down. So it's wild to see that difference in just a couple days.
In the emails to vendors, the owner says it's unclear what the long-term future holds for the business, but promises to send an update once more is known. Tony.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that. Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us live. Police, politicians, and victims have gathered in Mississauga today for a two-day conference on human trafficking. The goal of the event is finding ways to tackle a crime that targets young women. CTV's John Musselman reports.
The two-day symposium includes police, social services, politicians, and victims of human trafficking. And the goal is to expand professional networks to disrupt human trafficking. The event is being hosted by Victim Services of Peel Region.
To share knowledge, best practices, what works, what are the gaps, how do we fill those gaps, and how do we move forward to disrupting, combating, and preventing human sex trafficking in our cities.
As we know that supporting human trafficking survivors is not something that we can do alone, but something that we can only do collaboratively.
Here's a look at the numbers. 70% of victims identified police are under the age of 25. 62% of cases originate in the GTA. The average age is between 12 and 24 years old, and 63% of victims trafficked in Ontario are Canadian citizens. The symposium comes just 2 days after Peel Regional Police announced that 3 men and a youth have been charged in connection with an alleged sex trafficking case involving 3 girls aged 11 to 14.
I really believe it's a violation of human decency. It should not be happening. But again, another reminder of why it's so important to do these investigations, but why we also need to follow them up by supporting the survivors that we rescue.
The provincial government says it's investing more than $345 million in an anti-human trafficking strategy. The symposium continues tomorrow. John Musselman, CTV News in Mississauga.
New numbers obtained by CTV News show cell phone thefts are on the rise. As CTV's John Woodward tells us, what seem like small-time thefts can add up to big dollars for organized criminals.
It was such an emotional event for me. I felt so helpless.
Alamine's locker was broken into when he was swimming at the Milton Leisure Centre, and soon he was tracking his iPhone's location to other parts of the Greater Toronto Area before it disappeared completely.
My phone is already out of the city within just 1 or 2 hours.
Amine becoming another victim in a crime that is surging, according to data obtained by CTV News through a Freedom of Information request to Toronto Police. Before the pandemic, about 4,000 phones were stolen across the city of Toronto. That dropped to about 2,000 in 2021, and since has been increasing rapidly, surpassing pre-pandemic highs in 2024, approaching 5,000 last year. The lion's share reported to police downtown and in Liberty Village.
The phone theft is often the entry event in a crime chain that can go around the world.
Cybersecurity expert Claudio Popa says those phones can be sold, stripped for parts, or used in identity theft to access bank accounts and more. Some victims have traced their phones to other countries.
If you're talking about tens of thousands of phones, we're talking about millions of dollars in potential revenues that help to fund not just one group, but an entire ecosystem.
We saw a significant uptick, particularly last year in Pride.
Toronto police warned about professional pickpockets at large public events last year, and over at Rebel nightclub in Toronto's harbourfront last week, bouncers collared 2 people they said were carrying multiple stolen phones hidden in an RFID pouch around their waist, saying, "Our team is just as fed up with this behavior as our guests are."
The first thing that people do when they steal a phone is they pop it into an RFID aluminum coated Faraday pouch, so that it immediately disappears from the network.
Thieves also turning to robberies of cell phone stores, some attacks caught on camera numbering in the dozens last year. Amine said he complained to Leisure Centre staff about the stolen phone.
They were sorry, and right when I said that, they mentioned, "Oh, it happened again."
He wants the centre to put in security cameras for evidence. Police say it's best to keep phones out of sight in crowded areas, record their serial number, and make sure they are digitally locked tight. John Woodward, CTV News.
U.S. President Donald Trump signaled he will not back down on tariffs during his State of the Union address last night. And today on Fox News, Trump's trade representatives singled out Canada, saying any deal will include tariffs. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the latest.
State of the Union address? Prime Minister Mark Carney says he didn't watch the State of the Union address, but there are impacts for Canada. President Trump made it clear tariffs are a key plank in his economic plan for the U.S.
The view of the American administration is that there'll be a price to access the American market. I think, every country of the world that I know of is paying a price. What I'm saying is that Canada is paying the lowest price.
But that price could be paid in jobs. The U.S. Trade Representative today making it clear this is about moving manufacturing back to America.
We really want to focus on reshoring here. We want to have production here. We don't necessarily want to be dependent on China, Canada, or anybody else for things like cars and that kind of thing.
The U.S. has 50% levies on steel and aluminum going into their country and 25% tariffs on autos. It's why the Canadian government is trying to diversify trade away from our American neighbors.
GM and Stellantis have been cutting jobs here in Canada. Well, we will look towards Koreans, we will look towards Germans, and we'll look towards Chinese investments.
While looking for other trading partners, Canada continues to work on saving the trade deal with the U.S. and Mexico.
The Canadians, I was in contact with my counterpart just this morning. He's going to come to town in a couple weeks. They have a few ideas on how they might want to have a deal with us. We're obviously open to that.
By comparison, Dominic LeBlanc's office was far less committal. In a statement, a spokesperson for the minister responsible for Canada-U.S. trade would only say LeBlanc and Greer had a number of brief, informal exchanges in recent days about a potential in-person meeting in Washington, D.C. in the near future. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
We don't have to tell you how this wicked weather has been taking a toll on highways and streets, creating all kinds of potholes, bursting pipes, and other problems. CTV's Adrian Gobriel looks into how a bad winter and bitter cold is affecting infrastructure.
Traversing roadways while dodging crumbling Canadian infrastructure can feel like a winter sport unto its own, with costly consequences. CAA reports its members in Ontario and Manitoba are forking over an average of $900 a pop out of pocket each time their vehicle is damaged by a pothole.
There's an additional cost that consumers bear or taxpayers bear when they suffer vehicle damage as a result of the infrastructure and the impact of our climate on the infrastructure.
It was on this side, and we went totally so.
Georgia Nevinson's front tire was a casualty of a roadside crater.
Thankfully, my rim was fine. Otherwise, I would have had to fix those.
There's a real financial impact for Canadians.
There is. Do I now have to put in pothole insurance into my monthly budget?
Since January 1st, Toronto has repaired just over 23,000 potholes. By this time last year, the city had already filled 10,000 more. Year to date in 2024, road crews had patched up more than double this year's total. Toronto's Transportation Department says it's behind because crews have been too busy with snow removal operations. In Atlanta, Canada, Nova Scotia music legend Anne Murray recently took to social media, writing, "I'm going to get some sand for my car so I can start filling the potholes in the streets of Halifax." From burst water mains in Alberta to car-crushing craters, the cost of extreme winter weather is pushing rates even higher, according to the Insurance Bureau of Canada.
You need provincial governments, you need the federal government to really step up with funding for infrastructure that is more resilient to severe weather events.
This year in Toronto, they've nearly doubled the snowfall totals, and with more now falling, and with potholes that you can actually stand in, it's a safe bet that they will surpass last year's $153 million winter maintenance budget. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
A reminder to start your day in the know with the CTV Kitchener newsletter. Content from our newsroom sent right to your inbox every morning. We've got a look at the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. Sign up over on our website. You can click the QR code on your screen or head over to ctvnewskitchener.ca. A court challenge finally begins over COVID restaurant shutdowns. Coming up, a business owner gets his day in court more than 5 years later.
I'm Alexandra Hollick. Also tonight, we introduce you to the Carpenters Crew, how a group of retirees is crafting community one project at a time. That story is just ahead.
Well, we saw the bulk of snow we're expected to see fall for the next little while, but let's focus on the temperatures. Coming up, I'll have more on the upcoming chilling overnight lows that is expected to be seen. That's later in the show.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
More than 5 years after defying public health orders during the pandemic, a former Toronto restaurant owner is getting his day in court. A constitutional challenge began this morning, launched by the former owner of Adamson Barbecue, in hopes of proving that the restrictions placed on him were an infringement on his rights. CTV's Raheem Ladani has more.
The former owner of Addison Barbecue, who made headlines for disobeying COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, is back in court.
We'll be opening for in-restaurant dining against provincial orders.
Adam Skelly posted this video in November 2020 when Ontario was in the midst of a second COVID wave and restaurants were ordered to shut down indoor dining. Skelly says the government of Ontario, the City of Toronto, and former medical officer of health, Dr. Eileen Davila, infringed on his charter rights. Skelly's lawyer argues the ban on indoor dining was an overstep of power, harming small business owners without proper medical justification. For 2 days, Skelly opened his Etobicoke location to a large crowd of supporters. Before he can open on day 3, officers blocked the entrance. Police said they also changed the locks after Dr. Davila ordered the business closed under several health and safety regulations. Skelly's lawyer argues Dr. Davila signed a trespass notice which was excessive. Skelly's defiance led to charges of mischief and obstruction. Meanwhile, the city says freedom of expression didn't give Skelly a right to disobey laws, and that even if his rights were limited, it was justified under the charter. Adding vaccines were not yet available, and Dr. Davila had reasonable grounds to believe restrictions were necessary to reduce the risk to the public. In its filing, the province states there is no constitutional right to offer indoor dining at a restaurant. The hearing is scheduled for 3 days. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
A group of retirees from Guelph and Wellington County are breaking down barriers for people needing repairs and renovations. The Carpenters crew help families and charitable organizations with all kinds of projects in hopes of building community along the way. CTV's Alexandra Hollick is just back from one of the group's project sites in Guelph for a closer look. Joining us now live. Alexandra, what were they working on today?
Well, Tony, they're working with Royal City Mission to update the organization's dining hall. And it's just one of several projects in the works today and one of more than 200 completed since they started the group nearly 4 years ago. Cut from different cloths, these retirees have one goal in mind.
We want people to feel that they're not helpless in their situations.
They're known as the Carpenters crew.
Some of our guys that believe our work is living out our faith, and that's where the name came from, Jesus the Carpenter.
The group does handiwork for families and organizations who can't afford it.
Single mom, single dad, elderly, or people that can't work, and nonprofits and charities.
The projects typically take about a day to complete and range from paint jobs to major installations. The costs partially covered by the crew and crowdfunding.
We have done a little bit of fundraising, but haven't done a ton, but we sure would love any support we could get.
The idea came out of the woodwork nearly 4 years ago as a way to craft a new community and give back to the one already built.
Once guys retire, they've lost that sense of community with other people, and so this one of our main purposes is to get them back involved with other men and just connecting, so they're not out there alone.
The group of 17 meets a couple of times a month. Mornings start with a hearty meal.
We meet for breakfast at 7:30, socialize, get to know each other, talk, have a little friendship talk, and then break up into teams of 3 or 4 and go into the community and do projects.
And build partnerships with organizations like Royal City Mission.
They've done flooring for us, and now they're doing this trim. So it's a huge blessing. We're so thankful that they can do this for us.
As for others looking for support, the Carpenters crew shares this message.
We are here. We are free. and we are quite happy to help you and meet your needs. We're quite happy to do the work.
The Carpenters crew is looking to help more families and people in need. Now, clients must meet certain criteria before the project gets the green light, and those interested in connecting with the crew can head to their website, and those details are on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, sounds good. Alexandra, thank you. CTV's Alexandra Hollick with that story for us. And we're going to take you now to a live look at the Grand River. This time, the Grand River in Fergus. Our photographer Dave Pettit on a bit of a road trip tonight. And we're enjoying that daylight post 6 p.m. as we get closer and closer to the start of daylight saving time, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. Karis Mapp is back with us in just a couple of moments for our forecast. Also ahead, the story of a Southwestern Ontario baseball player who's never played a day in the majors, but is getting a major opportunity on the world stage. And next, Canada announces aid for Cuba. We'll break down the purpose and the politics of it next. Let me finish a thought that I should have laid out earlier. We didn't have enough time during First Weather. You said reunited, and I should have said, and it feels so good.
That's okay. I'll sing all the parts myself. I was going with it, no worry.
Apparently, some people were stunned that me, the music buff, didn't pick up on that a little more. But of course, that is from Peaches and Herb. I don't know if it's 1978 or 77. I could be wrong.
Ooh, that's too deep for me. I know the words and the melody, but I couldn't even give you who sang it, to be honest. Like, I'm glad you said that.
I may be only ballparking it. As we kind of have been lately with the weather, too. I mean, we had that 5 to 10 centimeters last night. It felt like it was going to be more than 10 when we were driving away from the station here last night because it was quite heavy for quite a period overnight.
It felt like it was more when I woke up as well, but I think a lot of that was that blowing snow. Like, because of the mass wind gusts, the snow that had fallen was just going everywhere, especially on those back roads.
Exactly.
Some whiteout conditions as well, but thankfully not too much snow today. It was a nice change of pace from last night. Even just taking a live look outside right now, thanks to our cameraman Dave Pettit. As you can see, that snow lining downtown Fergus right now, still there, but nothing actively falling, which is always nice to see. We're kind of stuck where we are. A beautiful shot, people making their way wherever they're headed at this point. Not too busy. Cloud coverage, a little bit of that, but mostly clear skies. Snow has fallen. Just a very peaceful time out in Elora. But places like Elora actually did get a little bit more snow than Waterloo Region, for example. There was a weather warning, yellow warning snow squall issued by Environment Canada earlier today. As you can see, north of Waterloo Region, they received an additional 10 to 20 centimeters. So while we were sitting here saying, oh, thank goodness it's over, it wasn't for them. And that was with that blowing snow, 60 kilometers per hour winds. So they were dealing with that all day today as well. Currently right now in Waterloo Region, we're in this little bubble, as you can see here. So not too much cloud coverage, not too much active precipitation either, but all around us, we did see some light flurries throughout the day. We actually did get an additional 2 to 4 centimeters, as I mentioned. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, by the time you're leaving for wherever you're heading off to, clear skies, a little bit of cloud coverage here and there, but nothing too crazy at that point. And then we are going to get a little bit more precipitation moving through the region. That's going to hit Friday around 11 a.m. It will also clear out. So the bulk of the snow that we're set to receive has already landed on the ground, which is always nice. Looking at temperatures right now in Waterloo Region, -4 degrees, pretty much the standard around. North of us, Mount Forest, -6, down in Ridgetown and Windsor, 0. But here's what it actually feels like. So -4, feeling more like -11. The wind chill temperatures aren't too crazy. Wyerton feeling more like -12, but overall, like I said, Windsor -6, Sarnia -8. So not as cold as we're going to see as the days come, though. To tonight, -14, feeling more like -19. So bundle up. Flurries, an additional 2 centimeters is expected to fall. Some wind gusts, 50 kilometer per hour winds. So it's going to be windy. Could be whiteout conditions still, just blowing snow everywhere. Tomorrow, though, sun and cloud, -3. Not too cold. It's actually pretty warm for this time of year. We're right on around seasonal. Today's high expected -1. We got there this afternoon. right on par with what we should be seeing this time of year. Minus 14, a little bit cooler than seasonal. As Tony mentioned earlier, sunrise 7:05, 6:05. We're seeing some more sunlight during this 6 o'clock show, which is always a nice surprise. And looking at our 7-day forecast, you see it. I won't get to the sunshine just yet, but tonight tomorrow night minus 10. We're seeing by Sunday those temperatures dipping down to minus 17, but you give a little to get a little because we're getting some more sunshine. Over in Lambton, Kent, Essex, same thing. Sunshine is coming as we go. Their temperatures aren't dipping quite as down in that area. They're relatively warm, even on Friday, plus 10 degrees, which is always nice to see. And our friends in southern Georgian Bay, they're cool as well. Down to minus 15, minus 17, actually on Sunday, minus 10, dipping down to minus 17. So we're getting sun, but the temperatures aren't always feeling as warm. Now let's look at our weather watcher picture for today. This is from Paul Richards from Collingwood. He sent this photo with the caption, Gladys, the bottomless backyard rabbit. This is apparently a recurring animal he has in his backyard. Said that he's trained perfectly. This is Gladys all full. She just finished her meal of carrots that he cooks out every night sharply at 6 o'clock. So thank you so much for sending that in, Paul.
A little picture of a bun in the winter. Gotta love that.
Oh, we have bunnies in our backyard, and I love to watch them.
By the way, our viewers are the best. Bonnie Roselle, thank you very much. Reunited by Peaches and Herb was released in 1979 as a single from a 1978 album.
The more you know, man.
The more you know.
You're quick. Look at that.
We are a full-service broadcast here, I'll tell you. All right, Karis, thank you very much. Well, Canadians have been putting off travel to Cuba because of food and gas shortages after the Americans cut off Venezuelan oil to the beleaguered island nation. Today, a promise of aid from Ottawa. CTV's Heather Wright breaks down the funding and who it's aiming to help.
At Cubano Kings in downtown Toronto, the menu is simple but authentic.
How you doing, buddy?
Cafecitos, Cubanos, Pastelitos. Canada has been Felix King Risco's home for 2 decades, but his heart is still in Havana with his family.
They're not doing so great.
His mother, aunts, and cousins all still live in Cuba, where electricity is limited, food is expensive, and gas is scarce.
6 o'clock, there's nobody on the street. People are afraid of getting mugged. People are afraid of getting robbed, all the staff.
Since January, the United States has blocked all oil from entering Cuba, trying to squeeze the Cuban government and force a regime change. But the blockade has quickly led to rapidly deteriorating conditions across the country. Today, Canada announced $8 million in aid to Cuba to be delivered through the World Food Program and UNICEF.
And Cuba is going to need massive assistance of various sorts, and food, I think, is going to be a big one. So $8 million worth of food won't go all that far for a population of about 10 million.
It's a balancing act for Ottawa as it tries to provide aid that goes directly to Cubans and not the Cuban regime, while also not inflaming tensions with the United States, which has vowed to place tariffs on any country that sends oil to the island nation.
I have not discussed Canadian aid intentions with Secretary Rubio or the United States. This is Canadian foreign policy.
For Felix King Risco, he says his country has been through many challenging times, but this one feels different.
Something needs to change.
Global Affairs Canada says this money will be released immediately, adding they continue to monitor the situation in Cuba and will respond accordingly in the future. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Troubling questions about safety thresholds for artificial intelligence after the Tumbler Ridge shooting. Next, what happened in a meeting between 4 federal cabinet ministers and the head of OpenAI? Canada's Minister of AI spoke out today about his disappointment after meeting with OpenAI over the Tumbler Ridge school killings. Staff at the big tech company flagged concerns about the shooter's posts, but didn't tell police until it was too late. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
4 cabinet ministers responsible for artificial intelligence, justice, public safety, and Canadian culture met with OpenAI officials behind closed doors for 1 hour.
We're here and we're very grateful for the ministers for inviting us to be here. This is serious and we're going to be in touch. We're going to give a briefing to the ministers.
The ministers did not get an answer to their question about safety thresholds.
And we are disappointed that they did not provide any concrete proposal.
7 months before the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge, shooter Jesse Van Rootselaar's use of ChatGPT was flagged internally for abuse and enforcement. She was banned from the platform. But OpenAI did not alert police until after the rampage.
A course of failure occurred here.
We need to trust their behavior, not their reputation. The reality here is we need to see concrete measures that are going to be put forward.
The global leaders in clean technology, artificial intelligence, life sciences.
Since he took office, the Prime Minister has actively promoted AI investment to spur trade. Mark Carney is also signaling he wants results.
Obviously, anything that anyone could have done to prevent that tragedy or future tragedies must be done. We will fully explore it to the full lengths of law and will be very transparent about that process.
The government is currently working on several bills to regulate online harm. Some have been in progress for years.
I am very concerned about the government's capacity and willingness to address artificial intelligence policy writ large.
Although cabinet ministers described their meeting with OpenAI as disappointing, they noted that the tech officials said they would return at a later date, hopefully with answers. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
All right, it's time now to recap our top stories. Ashley Bacon joining us in studio with all the details tonight. And Ash, we've got the latest from a family looking for answers after their loved one was killed in that crash on the flyover in Kitchener last month.
That's right, Tony. The family of Ewan Nguyen is looking for accountability and even looking into their legal options. OPP say the crash is under investigation. We reached out to police and MTO for an update, but did not hear back in time for air. The family's lawyer says they are still in the process of gathering information. The St. Jacobs Antiques Market is temporarily closing its doors. Vendors at the store on King Street North were told sales will end as of March 1st as the owner addresses financial problems that have left some sellers waiting to be paid. In the emails to vendors, the owner says it's unclear what long-term future holds for businesses, but promises to send an update.
Now, online, Ashley, our digital team has a story about sort of a remarkable situation involving a traffic stop in Guelph.
That's right, Tony. A driver is now facing a big fine and a long list of charges. Police say a 74-year-old driver was found to be operating a commercial motor vehicle that didn't have a working braking system, proper tires, or even a working horn, as well as a long list of other infractions. For more on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on your CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay. Ashley Bacon with a look at our top stories. Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Western University researchers are capturing international attention for their work on algae. With more on their project and its potential, this report from CTV's Jerry Dewan.
Diatoms are single-cell microalgae found in lakes, seas, and oceans around the world, accounting for an estimated 20 to 50% of the world's oxygen.
They convert a lot of carbon dioxide in oxygen, so they are great for all of us. They also are one of the primary foods for a lot of organisms.
Where Professor Bokomil Karish saw real potential was for diatoms to be genetically coded to create a wide range of products.
We are really truly hoping that very soon we're going to be using those diatoms as our factories for producing many products, from fuel to protein, to vitamins, etc.
The challenge is that diatoms have a protective silica shell. It makes them resilient in nature, but also made it difficult to deliver DNA to create the new products. The breakthrough came when then student and PhD candidate Emma Walker recognized that the shell on older diatoms was easier to strip away. She then set to work to create a chemical process to recreate that phenomenon. It opened the door to testing a broad spectrum of DNA coding options.
In the past, maybe we could test 10 combinations, 20. But right now, with this method, we can test thousands in a fraction of the time. So by being able to go to such a high throughput, we are going to try to drive the cost of making all this product to the point that they are way cheaper than the existing methods.
In the case of fossil fuels, we know it's a finite resource. At some point, we're going to run out of oil in the ground. Still, as a society, we rely on fuel, and we'll have to find alternate ways of producing it. Karish says it will also reduce the environmental impact, especially when it comes to carbon emissions.
This algae essentially just needs, sunlight. and seawater to create all these products. It also removes carbon dioxide and produces oxygen. So we have so many more benefits, and the carbon footprint is not even comparable.
Karash says the DNA delivery breakthroughs have the world taking notice.
Many collaborators are coming to work with us from different countries, and we actually created a consortium that right now have almost 60 scientists that we meet twice a year to discuss how actually to use the tools right now that we discover.
Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Getting a call to play for Canada. Just ahead, we will tell you about a baseball player from Goderich who's been playing all over the world. A baseball player from Goderich has been called up to play for Canada at the upcoming World Baseball Classic. He doesn't have any major league experience, but his career has actually already taken him all over the world. CTV's Scott Miller has his story.
Brock Dykeshorn has had a long, winding baseball journey.
Looking back now, it's been my 13th professional season. I had 5 with the Astros through the minor leagues and 1 in Korea. Now this is my 7th in Taiwan. So it's been a wild road, and it's taken me places I never would have guessed before.
A baseball journey that started in Goderich and landed him in Taiwan will now take the 31-year-old Dykeshorn to the World Baseball Classic. Dykeshorn, a right-handed starting pitcher, was just named to Team Canada, a last-minute replacement for fellow Canuck Carter Lowen.
I was a little bummed earlier this winter when my name wasn't called on the first roster. So I kind of just put my head down, kept doing my thing, and I'm just super grateful for this last-minute opportunity.
The 6'9" Dykeshorn has made himself a household name in Taiwan with 6 stellar seasons with the Uni President Lions, winning the Chinese Professional Baseball League Championship in 2020. But in a week from now, as he prepares for the WBC, he'll get his first chance to pitch against actual major leaguers in an exhibition game against the Toronto Blue Jays.
I never got to play in the big leagues. I got to AAA, one level shy, but this will be my chance to play against the Jays, play against the big league guys, so I'm excited for that.
Of course, the real competition begins March 7th when Team Canada kicks off its World Baseball Classic tournament against Colombia. Dykeshorn, who comes back to Goderich at least once a year, says he is stoked to pull on the Team Canada jersey once again.
I had the pleasure of playing on the Pan Am teams in 2015, and we actually took down the States in the finals of that tournament. That's one of the coolest experiences I've had in my career. There's nothing like it. Nothing beats that. Nothing tops that. And the World Baseball Classic is something I haven't been able to do yet, and that's kind of the pinnacle of international baseball.
In Midwestern Ontario, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Well, makes me want to start talking about baseball weather, but Karis, we are not there quite yet.
Tony, we talked about the cold temperatures we're going to be feeling overnight, but what about the conditions first thing tomorrow morning? I'll have those conditions first after the break with Wake Up Weather. Stay tuned on CTV for E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. A new episode of The Masked Singer starts at 8, and then Fear Factor, House of Fear at 9. It's then back-to-back episodes of Scrubs.
Tonight, a clue from Washington on upcoming trade talks.
We want to have production here. We don't necessarily want to be dependent on China, Canada, or anybody else.
What the U.S. signaled about tariffs and how Canada is responding. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Your Kitchener Rangers are celebrating International Women's Day, and CTV Kitchener has your chance to be there. Next Friday, the Rangers are highlighting the important women in the Rangers organization and community. Enter now for your chance to win at ctvkitchener.ca.
All right, let's check in with Ashley Bacon one more time and find out some of the things our team is keeping an eye on as we head into the evening. Ashley.
Well, Tony, the region's water capacity crisis will be front and center tonight at Regional Council. Once again, a long list of people have registered to give council their thoughts on the problem and some of the solutions being discussed. So we'll keep an eye on that in case there are any major decisions. Also tonight, the Kitchener Rangers are in Guelph taking on the Storm. Those stories and more at 11:30. Tony.
Ash, thank you very much. And Sleeman Center is always buzzing when the Storm are playing a home game. And I know things are a bit of a long shot for the playoffs for the Storm right now. According to the chart, it's still not mathematically impossible, but the Rangers still holding on to first place in the OHL's Western Conference.
What a season they've been having.
Wow.
And for the Guelph Storm, I always say, if you can believe it, you can achieve
yes,
it.
Yes, that is true.
So who knows? Maybe they'll have a comeback season.
Anything is possible when it's mathematically possible.
Absolutely. On paper, that's all that matters. You just got to play it to win now.
Well, it's going to be a good tilt tonight either way, and we'll have it for you at 11:30, some highlights. As far as the weather goes, what are we waking up to tomorrow?
Well, Tony, let's take a look. So as we know, I already talked about the cool temperatures overnight. -14 is what it's going to be dipping down to. By 6 a.m., not much warmer, -13, partly cloudy. 8 a.m., -11, so steadily getting a little bit warmer, sun and cloud. And then by that 10 a.m., when most people are out and about, -8, sun and cloud. So not the worst for this time of year, I say, as I love sun and warmth, but I'll take this. Not too bad. You know, I feel like I'm trying to convince myself.
It's okay. We've all been doing a lot of that lately. The sun helps, but that in my mind, I just can't get away from that 5 degrees you were mentioning for Friday.
I know. I was like, we're at that time of year where anything in the positives, we're like, oh, thank goodness.
It is a welcome reprieve. Well, finally for us tonight, an unusual arrest out of Ohio shows us how one man's trash may be another man's escape plan. Have a look at this. A sanitation worker getting startled when he opens up a trash can, and it captures the moment where a man pops out of it and makes a run for it. Oh my gosh, he popped out. Oh, it looked like he popped out of the truck. Yes. I didn't see the cart in front of the truck there for a second. Anyhow, authorities had lost sight of this guy earlier in the day when he took off from a traffic stop.
And in the end, the getaway proved to be rubbish. The suspect was chased down and taken into custody. I need to know more. How did you get in there? Yeah, like, I mean, good for you. If you're on the run, sure, that's probably the last place that they would.
This is like something out of a Naked Gun movie.
Look at him book it at the end there. He said, I'm free and here I go.
Boy, oh boy. Wild video. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.